Welcome back to The Explainer. All right, today we're getting to the bottom of a sound you definitely know well, that satisfying snap, crackle, and pop in our joints. You know the one. For decades, this has been the go-to warning from parents, teachers, pretty much everyone. And it's funny, right? Some of us absolutely hate the sound, while for others, oh man, it's just pure relief. But here's the real question. Is there any actual medical truth to this? Or is it just one of those things we've been told forever that's, well, just a myth? Let's dig in and find out. Okay, so let's get right into it. What's actually happening inside our bodies to make that noise? And first, we've got to tackle the big one, the one everyone talks about, the supposed link between cracking your knuckles and getting arthritis. Well, the verdict is in and it's pretty clear. I love this quote from Dr. Charles Cassidy over at Tufts Medical Center. He says it's basically just an old mother's tale to get kids to stop. So yeah, turns out it might just be a way to get you to stop that, admittedly, annoying habit. And the lengths people have gone to prove this is, wow. I mean, check this out. One of the most amazing pieces of evidence comes from a doctor who literally used his own body as an experiment for 50 years. For half a century, he cracked the knuckles on his left hand every single day and left his right hand alone. And the result after all that time, X-rays showed zero, absolutely no difference in arthritis between the two hands. Talk about dedication to science. And look, that wasn't just some one-off thing. The bigger studies, the ones with more people, they all say the same thing. There was this one big analysis in 2011 that looked at 215 people. And guess what? They found no link. None. So the science is really solid on this. The habit just doesn't cause the disease. Okay, so if cracking our joints isn't the bad guy here, then what is? To really get why, we need to understand what osteoarthritis even is. It's a degenerative disease, which means it's all about the breakdown of cartilage, that squishy protective stuff at the ends of your bones. The real culprits, the things that actually put you at risk, well, it's stuff you might expect. Your genetics, your age, if you've had a joint injury before, or even things like obesity. These are the factors that put that serious, long-term stress on your joints, a kind of stress that cracking your knuckles just doesn't create. All right, so if it's not our bones grinding into dust, which is a relief, right? Then what in the world is that sound? The answer is pretty cool, and it's all happening deep inside the joint. It all comes down to this amazing stuff called synovial fluid. The best way to think about it is it's like your body's own personal motor oil. It's this thick liquid that lubricates everything and keeps your joints moving nice and smooth. But here's the crucial part. It's full of dissolved gases, like nitrogen and carbon dioxide. And those gases, that's the secret ingredient. The whole pop is basically just a story about pressure and gas. So here's what's happening step by step. When you pull or bend a joint, you're basically stretching that space between the bones. This makes the area bigger, which causes the pressure inside to drop, like really fast. And that sudden vacuum effect pulls those dissolved gases right out of the fluid, and poof, they form a little gas bubble. The fancy name for this is cavitation. And for a long, long time, scientists thought the story ended there. But oh no, there was a plot twist. Yeah, because for decades, we thought we had it all figured out. But then some new technology came along and showed us that what we thought was happening was, well, the complete opposite. You see, the old theory, the one from back in the 70s, was that the sound came from the gas bubble collapsing, imploding. But the new evidence, it shows the sound is actually from the rapid creation of that bubble in the first place. We had it completely backwards. The big aha moment really came in 2015. This is so cool. Researchers used a real-time MRI, like a video MRI, to literally watch a knuckle crack as it was happening. And they saw it. They saw the gas cavity, the bubble, form at the exact moment of the pop. And then it just stayed there. It didn't collapse. That was the game changer. And of course, this cool new process has a fancy new name, Tribonucleation. It's basically the science of what happens when you try to pull two wet surfaces apart. They kind of stick together until, pop, they separate really fast, and that creates a little gas cavity in the fluid. That is what's really going on when you crack your joints. Okay, so we've established that cracking your knuckles is generally safe. But what about other places? Like, what's the deal with cracking your back or your neck? And more importantly, are there ever times when you should be worried about a joint making noise? The science is pretty much the same for your spine. It's still about that gas bubble. But, the stakes are a bit higher there. Gentle, occasional cracking is probably fine. But being too forceful, that's when you can actually run into trouble and injure something like a ligament. So moderation is absolutely key here. And you really need to listen to your body on this. There are some serious red flags. If there's any stinging or throbbing pain when you crack a joint, that's not good. Or if you have a joint that's constantly making noise with normal movement. Or worse, if it locks up after a crack. Any of those things are your body's way of screaming, hey, go see a professional. So, this all brings us right back to where we started. Now that we know all the science, what's the final verdict? Is it time to stop? Well, for most of us, the answer is a pretty clear no. As long as it doesn't hurt and you're not seeing any of those scary warning signs we just talked about, the habit itself is likely harmless. It's probably a lot more annoying to the people sitting next to you than it is damaging to your joints. So what's the big takeaway here? The science is on your side. You can probably crack on without worrying about arthritis. But the most important thing is to just listen to your body. Because at the end of the day, whether you're a cracker or not, the goal is exactly the same. Keeping your joints healthy and pain-free. Because hey, a healthy joint is a happy joint.